Dennis Rodman is not feeling particularly apologetic about the actions of the last couple weeks when he took a controversial trip to North Korea. And since he's come back, he's done at least one interview. We've got some quotes from ABC's This Week with George Stephanopoulos. And he's got some questionable quotes. First, let's go to him talking about whether or not he condones what Kim Jong-Un has been doing.
First, when you said you love Kim and think he's awesome, were you aware of his threats to destroy the United States and his regime's horrendous record on human rights?
But one thing about that, you know what? I didn't look at all that right there. I understand what he's doing. I don't condone that. I hate the fact that he's doing that, but the fact of it is that, you know what? As a human being, though, he let his guards down. He did one thing to me, been a friend. I didn't talk about that. I understand that. I understand that.
Shocking that a guest on Celebrity Rehab was sent on went on a personal diplomatic mission, and it came out goofy. You know, I mean, we don't go around sending Heidi Fleiss to Venezuela to check and see just how sick Hugo Chavez is. Although I would watch
Maybe.
that. Right, that would be awesome. Like Dennis Rodman, you know, and then on Celebrity Rehab, they also, you know, they did a Dennis Rodman brain scan, and he has significant alcohol damage, massive alcohol damage. I mean, this guy, I don't know if he was ever the brightest kid in class, but I mean, he's drank himself into brain damage. Yeah. So, like, trying to get on Dennis Rodman seems unfair to me for him not giving great answers about this.
Yeah, and they're somewhat rambling at best.
They're rambling. They don't make any sense. I mean, we can play a couple more. Let's hear the next one, because it's about how what Kim Jong-Un wants more than anything else is for his basketball buddy to pick up the phone and call.
No, what I saw in that country, and I saw how people respect him and his family. That's what I mean about that.
Aren't
great
they
leaders
forced
there.
to?
Huh?
Aren't they forced to?
Well, I say no, because I think he's going to change something, because he's just a different view. Because I sat with him for 2 days, and the one thing he asked me to give Obama something to say and do one thing. He want Obama to do one thing. Call him. He loves basketball. Now I said the same thing. I said, Obama loves basketball. Let's start there. If you see the quotes in the papers, he says that. He says that about sports. Both of you guys love basketball so much.
So, I love that. So, by the way, now let's, again, easy to make fun of Dennis Rodman.
You know, when he's dressed like Chris Tucker from The Fifth Element.
But look what he says here. There's another quote he has. I don't condone this. I hate the fact that he's doing that at the camps. I didn't talk about that. I saw people respected him, his family. He's only 28. He's not his dad. He's not his grandpa. He's 28 years old. He's very humble. He's a very humble man. He doesn't want war. He also points out in that same quote that he loves power.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
And apparently nuclear weapons.
But like, you're right, though. They could bond over basketball, as dumb as that is.
Ping pong diplomacy.
They could, exactly. So, was there any harm done by this? Like, we're bringing Dennis Rodman in, like he's got to explain his actions. What difference does it make? With everyone, the State Department very carefully comes out today and says that Dennis Rodman doesn't represent the United States. He wasn't asked to go.
I'm glad they made that clear.
No shit. Yeah. Oh, you didn't give Dennis Rodman a call and ask him to head over there, see if you can iron out the problems there in North Korea?
I have a feeling that Fox News probably alluded to that.
But if this begins some sort of back-channel dialogue, not obviously between the president and Kim, but if there's if it restarts the six-party talks with North Korea, not only is there no harm, there is an actual benefit. And he did make some fair points, and it's a nice reminder to us. He is only 28. He was educated in the West. He is not his dad. He is not his grandpa.
Yeah.
So maybe he will follow that path precisely and do exactly what they did. And he's not going around freeing political prisoners and giving up some of the family's wealth and getting some more grain so North Korean people can eat. I got all that. But what does it serve by us being united 6.2 million Americans strong and saying, we're not gonna visit there, we're not gonna talk? I don't see what the upside is there, and I don't think Dennis Rodman going to North Korea somehow legitimizes Kim in a way that's a concern. Now, granted, I don't live in Seoul, and so my perspective on Kim is different. But that said, again, anything that might somehow start those six-nation talks, obviously that's good for everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a good point. Point made, he's 28, and he might well, make some changes that sometimes happen when you have a change up in power in an established dictatorship like this. But I don't know, it's difficult. We have tried to open up societies before, but I don't know that there has been a society as closed off from foreign contact as North Korea. I don't know that we necessarily know what to do with that situation. And yes, he was educated in the West. There have been many dictators around the world that were educated in the West and then found out that having sex with anyone I want and being rich beyond the dreams of anyone else in my country, turns out that's pretty cool.
You can't have sex with anyone you want. You have to be there in North Korea.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know, like maybe Carmen Electra will take a trip next. I don't know if that becomes the in thing to do.
I just, you don't know, right, other dictators educated in the West, but not other dictators educated in the West in the 90s, in the age of the internet, educated in the West. So there are opportunities here, and it just seemed to me, I was struck as before this trip in regard to North Korea, how any sense that when that transition was made, when his batshit crazy kidnapping, 300 bowling, 9 hole-in-one getting dad died, how quickly the opportunity to make anything different happen in North Korea seemed to just evaporate, like it went away. And wouldn't it be hilarious if the trip by this brain-damaged, alcohol-riddled freak show made a difference? And I suspect it won't, but nonetheless, I fail to see that any harm at all was done. And I don't like, I've just said some mean things about Dennis Rodman. I get that, but I don't like the piling on of Dennis Rodman. Like, yeah, he's not up to these questions. Of course he's not up to these questions.